Tyson says he's going to bet £1 million on Jake Paul knocking out
This is
Joshua.
what I'm saying. How does that work?
He can't, can he?
Anthony Joshua could knock Jake Paul out with his. So if it goes any other way, you know.
You give me a headline there, by the way.
If it goes any other way, you know it's been fixed, don't you?
Anthony Joshua now?
I know that I will beat Anthony Joshua's.
So he wants to fight Anthony Joshua in 2026.
And the haters online are like, yeah, do it.
Well, they're like, what about
make that
now?
happen. Yeah.
They're like, what about fighting him now? It's like, you know what, to fight Jake Paul.
I hate it. And Jake Paul's starting to piss me.
Jake Paul's boxing career has been marked by bold challenges and headline-making fights. But now the YouTube sensation turned professional boxer faces what might be his toughest test yet, Anthony Joshua. Despite Paul's growing fanbase and several notable victories, experts are raising serious concerns. Going toe-to-toe with a two-time heavyweight champion like Joshua, known for his devastating knockout power and elite ring experience, could be a catastrophic step for Paul. Analysts warn this fight isn't just risky. It could bring a harsh and brutal end to his boxing journey.
Paul has reached out to Anthony Joshua a few times. I've spoken to Nikisa, Jake's manager. It's never a fight we anticipated. It's never a fight we've targeted. But if you want Jake Paul to be the warm-up fight, and obviously financially it's a great opportunity for AJ, and you want to provide AJ and probably in turn Matchroom with the opportunity to extinguish Jake Paul from the world of boxing, then maybe AJ will oblige.
In a recent interview, Matchroom boxing promoter Eddie Hearn confirmed that Jake Paul is the clear frontrunner to be Anthony Joshua's next opponent. He revealed that active negotiations are underway between Joshua's team and Paul's manager, Nakisa Bidarian. While Hearn acknowledged that the fight poses a significant risk for Paul, he highlighted its huge commercial potential. As things stand, Hearn expects the bout to happen in early 2026. Jake Paul's manager was here last week and expressed openness to the fight. Are there any updates on the developments?
Paul's manager here last week, and he's open to the fight. Any developments on that?
Lots. I mean, this bizarre world that we live in, I think Jake Paul is absolutely the front runner to fight Anthony Joshua next. I'm here in New York for meetings about that fight. There's an open dialogue between myself and Nikisa, an MVP. I don't know what to tell you, Bridgie, other than it's mental. I mean, I can't sit here and tell you this is a 50-50 matchup. The whole thing is bizarre. I think it's extremely dangerous for Jake Paul. I've got the general feedback is the boxing world saying, please, AJ, go in and evaporate this young man from the boxing world so we can all get on as normal. You've got Jake Paul fans thinking bizarrely they can beat Anthony Joshua. And the most bizarre thing out of everything is that Jake Paul genuinely believes he will beat Anthony Joshua.
The most surprising part of all this is that Jake Paul truly believes he can defeat Anthony Joshua. Paul hinted that a showdown with Joshua is very likely next year, revealing that they've been exchanging DMs and that Joshua even called him. To advance the idea, Paul shared that Joshua proposed holding the fight toward the end of 2025, with the full bout expected in early 2026. Paul's manager, Nakisa Bidarian, confirmed this timeline and emphasized that active negotiations are currently underway for what could be a monumental matchup.
I know you're after a world title, but if that doesn't materialize, I know the Tommy Fury name has been floated about. Is there any other fighters who may not be world champions that you're looking to face?
Yeah, I mean, Anthony Joshua.
I think that's the main one that, we've talked a lot about is if it's not for the title, it's looking at Tommy, if he's reasonable, and then Anthony Joshua. And he's adamant that he wants to make that fight happen at the end of 2026.
Anything is possible. And so I like the challenge. People, that's the criticism. Fight someone in their prime who's a beast. I think people just want to see me lose. That's really what the message is behind it all. And Anthony Joshua is an insane fight, but I want that challenge. We've been DMing back and forth. He wants to make it happen. He called me up, and it's looking very likely.
Jake Paul views a potential fight against Anthony Joshua as a game changer for boxing. He believes the matchup would bring new energy, attract a fresh wave of fans, and capture global attention. Paul sees himself as a breath of fresh air in the sport, confident that his mainstream popularity can engage younger audiences who might not usually follow traditional boxing. He stresses that the sport needs revitalization, and his presence can help bridge the gap between mainstream entertainment and boxing's established fan base.
You said it's you and Joshua here. Now, is this fight done? What are we talking about?
You know, it's going to happen. Like, seriously, it's going to happen. We were talking with Turkey tonight, negotiations live in person, which are always fun. But it's going to happen, and it's just such an exciting fight that crosses the whole globe. When you ask a lot of people about certain boxers, they don't know their names. And everywhere I've been going, I just talk about Anthony, and I don't have, you know, I'm global. So it's just such a good fight for the sport of boxing, and people will think I will die, but I will show them why I can rise against all odds and beat him.
Everyone's been wanting to see happen. Who will be the king of the United Kingdom? And who will be the queen of the United... Too soon? I'm praying that boxing doesn't happen to this fight, and what I mean by that is politics. People trying to take more money than they deserve. Fuck the money. Get in there. Make fucking history. This is one of the biggest fights that could happen over this past decade. Make it fucking happen, Eddie Hearn. Make it fucking happen, Frank Warren. Make it happen, Tyson. Make it happen, Anthony Joshua. We don't need fucking excuses. Don't let boxing ruin this fight. Get in the fucking ring and fight like that.
The boxing community and fans have voiced strong opinions about Jake Paul's challenge to Anthony Joshua. Many feel that Paul's ambition to take on a seasoned heavyweight like Joshua is unrealistic and overly ambitious.
Real deal respond to me as I tweeted my thoughts about delusion, which again, I think is more about what Jake said about Anthony Joshua and what he'll do to him. That was the more delusional aspect of this. Amanda Serrano said, "At Jake Paul is the truth." Funny, they say he's a fraud for wanting easy fights, then he asked for the toughest fights ever, and they say he's nuts. Listen, he was scheduled to fight Canelo Gervonta, and now he's calling out Joshua. Come on, who else is doing this? Oh, crap, on second thought, he is out of his freaking mind. You're right. That was more of just Amanda backing her guy, you know what I'm saying, the co-founder of MVP and someone that she really respects in Jake. But in the middle there, I don't know if she would know or, you know, whatever, but she essentially says that Jake was scheduled to fight Gervonta Davis, and she's not the only one saying that. Dan Raphael said the same thing earlier that day or maybe yesterday. I can't believe that that's true or if that was really going to happen. Essentially, the idea being, had Gervonta Davis beat Lamont Roach, he was going to fight Jake Paul next. And this is why I say, like, it's delusion.
Critics argue that Jake Paul's recent actions, including his win over 58-year-old Mike Tyson, reveal a concerning pattern in his boxing career. Many see his decision to fight an aging legend as more of a spectacle than a serious challenge, raising questions about his dedication to the sport. Prominent voices like Carl Frock have dismissed Paul's performance as lacking true skill, suggesting his success is driven more by entertainment value than genuine athletic ability.
Jake Paul, you've lost your mind if you think you can go toe-to-toe with Anthony Joshua. Listen, let's not get confused, guys. Let's not get confused. Yes, cool. Anthony, he took a big L with Daniel Dubois. But Daniel Dubois is not no joke, bro. It's not a joke. You know what I'm trying to say? He took an L there, but Jake Paul, I got the utmost respect of what he's done, how he's managed to navigate through the boxing world. Like, bro, it's so mad. And I can see this is like a 90%. It's happening, it's positioning, it's marketing already. Like, why would you see Jake Paul go face to face with Alexander Usyk if it's not to position for a fight for Saudi? Obviously, Jake Paul's going to fight Anthony Joshua. There's possibly going to be a Usyk against Tyson Fury 3, because obviously the last two were so close. But you never know. It can also be a Usyk against Derek Chisora. You know what I mean? You never know.
Eddie Hearn acknowledged the excitement a fight with Jake Paul could generate, but issued a serious warning for Paul to proceed with caution. He described Paul as bold, and perhaps even reckless, for pursuing a bout against Joshua-proven heavyweight powerhouse. While the financial stakes would be huge for both fighters, Hearn emphasized the immense risk of matching a relatively inexperienced boxer like Paul against a seasoned veteran. He didn't hold back, calling the potential fight a disaster waiting to happen that could completely derail Paul's boxing career, whether through physical injury or public embarrassment. Despite the buzz such a matchup would create, Hearn made it clear that the dangers far outweigh the spectacle.
Jake Paul, Anthony Joshua, 50-50 fight. What do you make of that?
Yeah, I just said in another interview, great if it is. I mean, if it is, then you've got no problem seeing it. But when AJ, I mean, decapitate's a strong word, but you know, when he renders Jake Paul unconscious like he did to Francis Ngannou, don't then say, oh, well, it was Jake Paul. Do you know what I mean? I mean, when AJ beat Francis Ngannou, Ngannou just had a fight that could have gone either way with Tyson Fury. Then AJ poleaxed him, and everyone just said he's just an MMA fighter. Do you know what I mean? Jake Paul's not Francis Ngannou. But as I said before, if you want to see Jake Paul exit the boxing world, make the fight.
Let's talk about AJ just quickly. I watched Jake Paul the weekend. I feel a bit dirty saying that because I'm not a fan of his, but he did say after the fight that he's sort of having DMs or he's dropping text messages to AJ. They're having a chat about a potential fight. What's your view on that, Eddie?
Well, look, he's calling out Gervonta Davis, who is a 135-pound lightweight, and he's calling out Anthony Joshua, that's a heavyweight monster. I think Jake Paul is crazy enough to fight Anthony Joshua because the money would be absolutely obscene. It's a catastrophic mismatch that people would tune in to watch because it would lead to the end of Jake Paul. Hopefully not literally, but it's that dangerous that, you know, it's a fight that I don't think should really happen, if I'm honest. I would say about Jake Paul, and I've said this in a couple of interviews today, I do think you start after giving him a margin of respect. You know, I think this guy is going through the motions, he's putting the hard spars in, he just went 10 rounds with, yes, a washed up fighter, but a former world champion that did train for that fight, but they're very clever in terms of the opponents that they pick. They're not going to gamble unless the money's out of control. And it wouldn't surprise me if Jake Paul, wanted to move forward with an Anthony Joshua fight. Honestly, AJ's coming tonight. He's not exactly looking at Jake Paul going, oh, that's my dream opponent. No. Would he go in there and give him a hiding for, you know, a massive chunk of money? Probably. I'd be saying, yeah, go on. I'd like to see it.
Andre Ward has shared his thoughts on the situation, stating that boxers don't get frustrated when someone like Jake Paul calls out legends. Ward said that if it happened to him, he wouldn't take it seriously, adding, I don't have time to entertain the circus. His remarks imply that he views Paul's fights more as entertainment than genuine boxing contests. Many other professional boxers have expressed similar views, doubting the legitimacy of Paul's bouts.